So this is the Jeskidding show, and basically it's called Jeskidding because sometimes I say stupid stuff that I really don't mean, and I just say, oh, I was just kidding. And then sometimes I say something that's informative and makes you think and goes Jeskidding, and hopefully I've enlightened your day in some really strange way. So I'm here with two friends today. We're here with Guy Rader, actor, tech dude, friend. I'd call him a friend. Wouldn't you call yourself a friend, Guy?
Yeah, I think we're definitely friends.
I hope so. I hope so. It's not really fun when two people don't share the the agreement on that one. And
we'll get into that later.
There'll be some of that and a little of this. So we're also here with Redneck Rebel. He is a student, firefighter, volunteer firefighter, IT specialist, and big into fitness. So and he likes romantic walks on the beach. I'm just gonna fill in the blanks on his bio until I make up shit.
I've walked on the beach with Redneck,
yes,
holding his hand,
yes,
looking into the sunset, and he's
very productive when he does that. That's how he pronounces productive. Redneck Rebel, how are you, dude? Welcome to the show again.
Hey man, happy to be part of this production.
Yeah, production. Yes, I'm happy you're a part of this production. So today,
happy to be a part of it.
I'm glad you're a part of it too, because I also consider you a friend. You're under one of these categories, as of many of these people in this chat room today. So the episode is called what do we call this episode? No, wait, I got it. This episode is, are we really or actually friends at all?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
You know, what is friendship? What does that mean? Because I found that everybody defines friendship completely differently. Everybody has a different parameter of friends and frenemies and enemies and friends with benefits and, you know, denemies. I don't know what that means. Something to do with
just
dennies.
Friends.
Yeah. Just Friends, the movie, and the Friends, the TV show. So this is a pretty universal topic today. So I thought I'd open it up for my dudes and my chat room. This is broadcast live on Twitch, where we get live feedback from the audience, and then we read it out loud sometimes on stream if it's appropriate for a family-friendly audience, which we never, ever are, but we're going to pretend for a little bit. Because I'm friends with the world. I'm friends with parents across the world, and they all trust and love me. Okay, so Redneck, how are you today?
I'm doing great, man.
I'm glad to hear it. And let's start off with you. Let's get a definition. What does it mean to you when you call somebody a friend?
I would say like a friend is probably somebody like, you know, naturally you have things in common with, you know, somebody you can rely on, you know, somebody you can call if you need something. I usually do it in like I have like 3 categories I do personally. It's like acquaintance, friend, and best friend.
Ooh,
like,
there's a bestie.
And you say best friend, like besties, you know? Like a best friend to me would be like, and if you wonder who your best friends are, think about like, who is that one person that you could call in the middle of the night if you really needed something or you needed somebody?
The police.
That's your best
No,
friend. Friends
sorry.
are like me and Jeskid, where we sit around and make dumb jokes. And we have things in common, you know?
So how do you feel, now you've given us a hierarchy of friends, right? How do you feel like that people feel about being on this hierarchy? What if they find out, like I've just found out that I'm not your bestie, and I don't know how to feel about this? You know what I'm saying? Because now I feel like I'm lower on the train. So when you do this differentiator of levels of friends, do you tell the people which level they're in? Is it like a video game where you can level up or level down?
No, you know, I'm actually glad that Redneck you started off with like the category thing, because my thought was that, you know, they say the Eskimos have 100 words for snow because you know, there's all kinds of different snow. Well, you know, I think we all have our own perception of like what category. What do we call a friend? What's a friend? What's a buddy? What's a pal? What's an acquaintance? You know, you can you can drill down as far as you want.
Colleague. That my dickhead neighbor. You know, like there's a lot of categories that I put people into.
Yeah, that guy that doesn't take care of his lawn very well and makes your house look like shit by comparison.
Right. My online friend, my in real life friend, are they different? Do they have different meaning? I'm going to back this up for a second, and let's get a 2-second really quick about who we are speaking to, because those who have not listened to episode 1, they don't know who Redneck Rebel is. And those who have not heard Guy Rader's voice means you've never watched any of my movies because he's in them all. Me and Guy have been friends for probably in the range of 25, soon to be maybe 30 fucking years, which is incredible. It's crazy, right? So Guy Rader has been in a lot of movies of mine, blah, blah, blah. And he's just a really talented, creative guy. Guy, give your 2-second spiel, and then we'll move back into friendship.
Yeah, so my name is Guy Rader. I identify as a cisgender male. You can use pronouns he, his, and him.
We're going there.
I was an actor, or still am. Still try to act and be creative. But I found a career in technology. But I'm a longtime friend of Jesse's. Been in pretty much everything that he's created because he's an idiot and doesn't understand what actual talent is. But he has actually in the past given me a Hackademy Award.
I gave him a Hackademy Award because he's the best hack I've ever met. He's like, if he was a wrestler, he'd be Hacksaw Jim Duggan or whatever that guy was. That's terrible. Forgive me. So, okay, Guy, that's Guy's little spiel. Let's go to the chat room real quick. And Zuzo says, Guy Rader sounds like a butthole. Laugh out loud. Just kidding. So would you consider Zuzo, who we've both met in real life, a friend after saying this comment about you in the chat room? Guy Rader.
I mean, yeah, he's an online friend.
Yeah. So you're just an online friend. You've been, I think, downgraded. Even though you've met in real life, you used to be in a real life friend, but you've called him a butthole. So you just got notched down.
Yeah, no,
you just can't do that. So okay, I'm sorry, Guy. Please.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Except for the butthole comment. Okay, Redneck, give us the 2-second spiel on yourself. If you go on too long, we're no longer going to be friends.
Is this being timed?
Obviously, I'm looking at my once I get done with my coffee, I'm done. Yes, please.
Let's put 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the clock. Boo doo 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 doo. Tell me your life fucking story. Go.
All right, yeah, everybody get prepared. This is going to be about 15, 20-minute spill. I like
oh my God.
On the
Holy
beach.
shit.
No, really, guys. I mean, if you didn't watch me in the first episode, I mean, it's kind of the same gist. He kind of laid it out in his bullet points pretty well. I work out. I'm really super into fitness.
Buff.
I'm a student.
Yep.
But Buff is a motherfucker.
Buff is yeah. Same bad channel, same bad time. Yeah. I'm Buff. I'm a firefighter. Yes. Give us one detail you didn't give us last week about yourself that we didn't know about you, so that we can all become closer to you and maybe feel like a little bit more of your friend.
Ooh.
Please tell us more about yourself.
Intimate details?
I don't really need to know the intimate details because that's kind of, you're approaching friends with benefits, and we're not talking about that section yet.
Well, that's
we're not there.
That's a whole other category.
Total category. Yes, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So one more thing about yourself that's interesting, if anything.
I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I was not prepared. It's just kind of like the fitness, the firefighting, and the school. That's pretty much all I do, and that's kind of like the main passions that I really have.
Fair enough.
There's nothing really else to really tell.
We have a chat room full of people posting pictures of a man with a wig on it for you, I think. I don't really know what that means. But those are obviously friends of yours who've got an inside track.
Oh,
so
yeah. I have to do this. I have to say shout out to Kendra. Thanks for watching.
Shout out. He's giving you shout outs. You're on the friend list because you're getting shout outs. This is obvious. So
being called Buff Bub is actually
it's a compliment. He was called Buff Bub for those that are just listening. So let's get back to the topic. So the topic is friendship, and that's a sort of indicator of friendship. Okay, let's say one thing in friendship is people who share inside jokes, people who have things in common that maybe they don't have with other people. Is that part of? I think that's part of friendship. Wouldn't you say? Either one of you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, part and parcel of friendship is having common interests. That just goes with the territory. You spend time together and you actually enjoy that time that you spend together. But you have to enjoy it in the same ways, right? I mean, I think we're probably going to pretty quickly devolve into levels of friendship of like missed expectations. Like, just
very
pulling the 3-person room here, not including myself.
You can pull yourself.
How many people,
it's okay.
Yeah, well, how many people here have had a friend who thought, seemed to just assume there was an expectation of friendship that you don't share.
So
I guess that goes to the levels of friendship, right? That hey, can you help me move this weekend?
Oh yeah, the moving request. So I think moving is a big indicator of who's actually your friend. I really do.
Totally.
Because I think only a real fucking friend helps you move, or somebody who really wants to become more of in that friend zone. And we'll talk about the friend zone in a second. The friend zone is actually a good thing, in my opinion. So, like, you're saying that spending time together, that sort of makes a friend for you. So what would you say, what do you consider a friend, Guy? What is the qualifications? Like, if this was a dating site, like like Tinder, Grindr, but like Friender, right? With a Z or some bullshit at the end. What would you put on your thing looking for, well, if you had no friends, and I'm just going to, for this conversation, say you ain't got no friends, right? If you had no friends, right? what would, and maybe you fuck some of them up and maybe they just didn't like you. I don't know why you don't have friends, but tell us. You're putting it on friend Grindr, yes, OC Diva said in the chat room. What are you looking for in a friend?
So yeah, that's actually a really good question.
Why, thank you.
I would say that it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to like time spent together, although that helps solidify a friendship. I mean, you can meet someone, and in an hour feel like you're friends with them.
So chemistry. So it's like
chemistry.
There's a chemistry.
There's a certain je ne sais quoi, about becoming friends with someone. And you're like, hey, I like that person.
There's a general like. There's an attraction. And I know it's a risky word to use because people always think boners, right? Or whatever your thing is. There's an attraction that is non-sexual in nature, potentially. Could include that. Who knows? That sort of pulls the two of you together. Maybe it's a sense of humor. Maybe it's you see the world in the same way. But do you feel like that's like a level one? Like for me, I feel like, that's an entryway. Right? And I kind of like that person. And I'm friendly with them. I consider them a friend. I consider most people friends, but I'm naive and gullible. So please continue. Sorry.
Sure. No. A lot of it has to do with your sixth sense and your gut sense of like, who is this person a good person? Right. Are they, on the level with you? Might they share some of the same values that you do? I mean, not that none of those things are absolutely important to become friends with someone, but at least when you're forging the friendship to begin with, and they always, go ahead.
What? I'm sorry. Please continue. I have a bad habit of interrupting people, which causes me to lose a lot of friendships.
No, you've never done that ever, Jesse.
No, not once.
Not in 25 years. That's the gateway, right?
It's a gateway friend drug, yes.
No, now I'm going to get anecdotal, right? I'm just going to talk about. So I have a neighbor, right, in this apartment building that I live in, and I met him, and he was very chatty, very smart. He had a broadcast background, very interesting stories. He'd been deployed. He had reported over in Iraq and Afghanistan and such, and then. But quickly, his definition of a friend and my definition of a friend quickly diverged because he thought because we had that initial connection that I was his instant friend and like had to come over and talk to him for hours, at a whim. And that didn't.
So for you, that was like a high maintenance friend, right? That was like somebody who required way too much maintenance for the level of.
At least at first.
Yeah. Like, let's go to first base of friendliness, right? Let's not go for I'm not touching my tit. Like, I mean, it's not happening.
Yeah, right? Like first base of friendship is having a really nice conversation in the elevator, maybe extending it to the lobby.
He's like, those people fucking scare me, and I'll tell you why. Those people, when they're like, they glom onto you, right, too fast. And look, it's okay to have an attraction. I have no problem with that. Look, I broadcast the internet. But when they like, be my new best friend, and then you realize they ain't got no other friends. And then you realize they're like fucking 40 years old. And then you're saying to yourself, how the fuck are you 40 years old with no friends? And why are you finding me so interesting so fast? I'm not that likable. That's what goes through my head. What is it? What happened?
I also like how you're like, you're fucking 40 years old and you and I are in our 40s.
Yeah, don't worry about what age I am, okay, asshole? You want to lose the friendship? You're on your way, asshole. It's going. Goodbye. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking 46 years old.
Don't fucking call me out.
I look fucking 28, man. It's not my fault. I got good genes, okay? I'm wearing nice jeans. Look, you can see them.
You guys have been friends as long as I've been alive.
That's
25
right.
years?
That's
My
right.
goodness.
We've been making dick jokes before you were born. You know, our dick jokes might have led to you being born. It's possible.
We actually, we made a dick joke that led to your
Your conception.
conception.
We conceived of you. Just want you to put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it. So,
Hey,
okay.
man, thanks for that.
No problem. Anytime. So we visited Kentucky a few times, and that's not a joke. He actually lives in Kentucky. So, all right. So back to you, Redneck. So let's go to the question to you. Like, I'm going to be a little more specific now. We're going to drill this down. What does friendship mean? And first, I'd like to give a shout out to a few people in the live chat room that we have here. We have OC Diva. We have Ken with a little yeehaw going, saying stuff like that. We got Mr. Mike. He said redneck saves bobcats. That's the truth. You remembered it from last time. We got Kitty King TV. We got a lot of people sort of interacting here. So from time to time, we'll call these people out. And maybe we'll become their friends. So let's go to a little more specific questions. And I have opinions on this bullshit too. But so let's go down to drill down. So how long do you have to know each other before you start calling them friends?
Well, I'll preface this here, right, by kind of just saying that, like, me personally, I like to surround myself with people that have similar mindsets. Like, we don't have to like the same things, but I like people that are consistently motivated, you know, always working towards that next big goal, and just generally just very uppity and, you know, happy and good vibes and good thoughts. Like, because I'm a believer that you are a product of the people that you surround yourself with. So if you're with a bunch of people that, you know, just think everything sucks, eventually you're going to think everything sucks too. But if you're around people that are goal chasing and, you know, getting these milestones in their life and doing these great things, you're going to want to do that too.
Do you feel that
so that's my kind of thing?
Do you feel that that may be a product of where you are in your life right now? I mean, it's possible, and maybe God, I'm not placing this on you, but I'm asking you. It's possible that at some point, those people that are continuously pushing and pushing and pushing, and you're just trying to fucking rest, right? You get really annoying. But at certain points in your life, you want to be motivated by like that. Do you feel that over time that may shift on you, or is that just your current outlook for what you would consider like a friend soulmate, a fro-mate?
I don't think it like would really shift, and I know that like there's always going to be times where things aren't great and people aren't motivated. But see, that's what being a friend is about, right? Because nobody in this world can always stay happy and stay motivated and like, I want to do this and I want to do that. Things are going to get rough, and like you just have to be that guy that extends that hand and says, you know, hey, come on, let's get back on, let's go.
I agree with that completely. Yeah. I function like that. I'd like to go to the chat room for a second. We have the Will Miller. Hello, Will. I consider Will a friend. Will said, I've got a lot of friends, only a few people that I count on or confide in. So that's a very interesting thing, that there's a distinction. So like there's a moment where like these people are my friends, but these people are the ones that I really go to. And I don't always tell people what the differentiator is. And I agree with that completely. I mean, I have a ton of friends online. And I think there's a lot of people who would look out for me if there was a real problem. I really do believe that. I think you build that over time, friendship. But I also know that I wouldn't turn to some of them first because I don't know that. And that uncertainty sort of puts a little barrier in me putting him in that upper echelon, not knowing if I fall, will they catch me? And that's a scary thing.
That's what makes you a good friend as well, right? Is that not having that expectation that just because you're friends with someone, that they're going to go that extra mile for you, or drop everything and, you know, make sure you're okay or whatever. I mean, obviously it's a role of a friend to like reassure or be there. But again, those expectations can be very different amongst friends.
Absolutely. I mean,
like, you know, and Redneck, you were saying before, and I really admire this, honestly, because I feel like I'm a bad person. But
you guys are becoming friends.
You know, we are becoming friends. But, you know, you said, oh, you know, it's the responsibility of friends to like push each other and make sure everyone's achieving goals and whatever. I'll tell you this. I have a couple friends and they push me to be a better person and do things that I've stated that I've wanted to do. And I fucking hate them for it sometimes, honestly.
Me.
Like, yeah, Jesse, you've done it before, but
100%.
You know, it's not, You know,
I'm not
I'm not
annoying
saying like actual legitimate hate, but you know, for you know, I have a good friend I've been friends with for basically the same time as Jesse, and every time I see him, he fucking digs at me, and I know he does it out of a place of love,
Right.
but I really can't stand it, you know, because I'm like, if I want your help, I'll ask for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
So there's
with
a
that.
certain level of acceptance of like where you are, and that's not. It sounds like I'm trying to like excuse myself for being a loser, but it's really it's really about like mutual respect, right? Don't fuck with me if you know. I mean, you can be serious about it and bring it up, and you know, hey, you know, I think you should be doing this, or you talked about that. Where are you at with this? You know, that's all good. That's all well and good, but if you're just gonna like pressure me, then I don't want anything to do with it.
I'll tell you what. I agree with that completely.
There's definitely a line there for sure, because like you want to, because I do the same thing with friends that I care about, right? Like best friends and friends, I do it for them both. It's like if I know somebody that you know is struggling or something, I'm always that guy that's like, hey, look, you can get through this, and I'm here for you.
Sure.
Like, and I think that's like that's a really big thing you got to do.
But that's the idealistic form of friendship. I mean, there are situations that I've been in over the years, and I'm one of these, like, I'll be there for anybody, guys. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I'll do anything. But that shit gets abused. And there are friendships that just go south because there are those that either don't want to do for themselves or don't want to try or really just exist on not using people in, say, the financial way, but the emotional way, and then they just disappear. So that friendship over time needs to be reciprocal, or you know, motherfuckers got to die.
Exactly, because you know, and people change, and over time, and that's an important thing that you gotta sit and think about. It's like if somebody is going through that time, or they're making all these bad decisions, and you try to help, and hey, man, you know, let's do this, don't do that, you know, and they're always doing these things. You have to really make a choice for yourself. And if this person is no longer good for you, then, you know, you can't really be mad at yourself for wanting to cut it off.
So when you say, I've thought about this a lot, some friendships are not meant to last. And it's a little bit of a cliche, but it's fact. You know, there's truth to it. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong at all.
Right?
Some ships need to fucking sail and sink, or whatever some bullshit line about that is. That would be, I'd put that on like one of those inspirational things. Some ships need to sail and sink. You know, brought to you by fucking Hallmark.
The demotivator posters.
I demotivate everybody every day. But I was going to say, so some friendships, they just need to sort of end because you outgrow them or you just become different people. I think one of the main tenets of friendship is acceptance. Is it accepting who the other person is and who the person wants to be? And then sometimes I have friends out there, and there are a lot of people, I'm not speaking to anybody specific, but I have friends who are so sentimental that they'll hang on to friendships based on something that's long gone. Without carving a new friendship. And sometimes the friendship survives. Sometimes you find a new thing to come together over, you know, or you find a new understanding of, because I think people in general, they lock each other into boxes, right? Mm-hmm. They remember you as you were the whatever, you know, you were the losery guy that used to pick his nose. And I just want to tell them that's not changed. but not talking about that for that, right? But you were but one day you don't pick your nose anymore. And you don't want to be known as the losery guy that picks his nose. And they just stick around to remind you infinitely that you're the losery guy that picks his nose. So that's funny. I'm going to go to Teddy Hard. What a great name in the chat room. I enjoy this chat. Teddy should be a friend of mine just because it sounds like he's starred in 14 pornos I may or may not have seen. Teddy Hard said, true friends are the ones that visit you at the hospital or in jail. Right? So we know it.
I just saw that, but
I don't necessarily agree with that either, because some people visit you in jail just to figure out when you're getting out so they can sleep with your wife. I mean,
yeah, I don't know where that is. That personal?
Or? No, I've never done time in a jail in New York State. So anyway, let's talk about Puppy. Said before, he said a very clip from 20 years ago. I don't know. So Puppies from the chat room said, someone can become a friend quickly if they bond with you at a hard time. i.e., many people don't necessarily want to talk to me after a tough relationship breakup because I was a sad sack. But I made a friend just talking at the gym, and she's quickly become my friend by listening and giving advice. Time tests a friendship, but it doesn't necessarily make one, I think. So I would agree with that. I think that there are friendships that they can be forged very quickly out of sort of an intense time. That's why they say some of the strongest bonds come from like people who go to war together. Like, or people who do like something super intense or go through, I mean, me and Guy have been through a lot of intense situations, work-wise, and friendship-wise, but more work-wise, working on films and working at a certain company we worked at together. It was some really insane times, and they really brought all of us together because we survived something. It was crazy. It was crazy. So,
yeah, no, I was going to say that as well. Like, so, and at least in my adult life, some of my strongest, most consistent friends have been people who I've worked with, you know, and and if you asked 18-year-old me or even 22-year-old me if that would be the truth, I'd be like, no, I've got my 9 friends and they're gonna be my friends forever.
Right.
And that's not proven to be true for me. Now, of course, some of it's on me, right? Like, you know, a lot of people like to like try and cultivate their friendships, and for me, like a friendship is evergreen.
Like weed,
you know. Yeah.
Just like weed. Weed is evergreen.
You're lucky.
Yeah. And then you smoke it and you forget who your friends are. Pooh-yah! Okay, let's go. Sorry, please continue.
No, you know, but you definitely, you know, in times of trouble or just day-to-day work and just surviving, right, you really do form really strong bonds. But I know a lot of people who, and you touched on this earlier, Jesse, it's like, oh, we went through so much together, you know, we had this experience, so that makes us long life friends. Well, it might make you friends in that you can reconnect and stuff, but you might not share that same experience anymore. And not that the friendship is devalued, but again, you know, after 5 or 10 years, not that I put a time limit on friendship, but yeah, you're not going to be like, oh, hey, you got put in jail, I'll come bail you out. You know, that ship sailed.
And there is a point of like, for me, like, I'll be friends with somebody, but if they keep doing dumb shit that endangers me over and over and over, peace. Because that's a choice, and they're just, you know, taking you down the fucking toilet bowl with them. By the way, Al, ADR326 from the chat room said, you worked? As a question mark. I don't really... Friendship is over, Al. Fuck you. Fuck you. You dick. You total dick. OCD in the chat room said...
I will say this, Jeskid. I never saw you play StarCraft at work. Never.
I never played StarCraft at work. I worked right next to Guy. I totally played that shit in the corner. I built an entire online empire sitting next to my friend at work. And then he became my boss in that job, right? I got him hired. I taught him everything. He became my boss because I was too busy building Jeskid in the corner. I'm a really strange guy. And then he started to cover for me while I built the empire. It's great. It's perfect. That's a fucking
that
friend.
Right there is an example of a true
That's friendship. That's friendship.
No, it's true.
So OC Diva in the chat room said, yeah, my closest friends were from the fucking hardest job I ever had. It's true. Yeah. They really brings you together because those moments test you and say, who are you? You know, in this under fire. And when you're under fire together, you really get to find out what people are made of. And those moments are very revealing, so you can really say, hey, I really choose to be close to this person. I think people in general are really shielded and guarded. I'm not, because I've had everything stripped from me at different points in my life, so there's nothing left except what this is. I mean, there's still a part that I don't reveal to everybody, but for the most part, I'm pretty open.
That's true. I think you're open, but I don't think you're unshielded at all.
Unshielded, you saying?
Yeah, I don't think you're unshielded.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's because you know me, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But to most people, I'm pretty just what you see.
I get to get past your shield and get to your sensitive parts.
You get to get in on the inside.
You get to see his intimate side.
Oh, yeah. And my, you're in my
the
innards.
best friend.
Oh, you're in my cloud 9. I don't really know what that means. So, okay.
Hey,
no, I haven't revealed. I would not want to reveal it all to you either. So, so let's get to the next thing. So it really does sort of speak to, like, what is this? And it's a label, right, that we put on people. What is a friendship, you know? So all right, let's get to, can a person on the web who you've never met without meeting be a good friend?
I'll definitely take on this one right here because I've anecdotal.
Did you put? There was a duck in that anecdotal?
Yeah, anecdotal.
I feel like I'm on anecdotal.
Was that a mallard?
Are we talking? Are we doing
Mandarin?
Are we doing Duck Dynasty? What are we doing?
I just got to stick to what I know. That's plain and simple redneck English.
Please do.
I can't be sophisticated.
Please don't. You'd lose all your charm immediately. Please, never be sophisticated again. Please.
Like I
Far
was,
more fucking sophisticated.
Never, please. We don't want that from you. That's not why you're on the show. Please continue. Please.
Well, so I actually met a guy on, and that's a weird way to make that, start that out, right? I met a guy.
I like it.
Well, I met a guy on World of Warcraft actually over 10 years ago. I met a guy over 10 years ago, and we're still friends to this day. And we've actually met each other. And I think people that you meet online can absolutely be best friends, because this guy is somebody that I would consider one of my very best friends in the world. Like,
I would agree with that.
We went to the beach together, as a matter of fact.
It gets better and better.
We did. And it was like you imagine, super bromance,
Bromance, yep.
We drank beer and we smoked hookah and stuff. And it was just like, when I met him, because I think we knew each other for like 5 or 6 years. And then I met him. Mm-hmm. And it was like, after the initial, like, oh, holy shit, he's right in front of me. It's like, then it was like, it was just like any other time we ever talked online. I mean, we chilled, we drank some beer, we smoked some hookah, and it was an awesome time. And we still talk to this day. And like, we're on that level where it's like, he knows that he can call me at any time. And if he needs something, just somebody to listen to his problems or get some advice or anything like that, I can always be that guy for him. And when I'm feeling like shit or not motivated or things are going on, I call him too. So absolutely, anyone that you meet online can absolutely be a best friend. I don't think it's a difference.
Well,
I agree with that completely.
And sometimes, honestly, that kind of, I mean, I know obviously there's a lot more video chat and stuff, but having grown up with the internet, being chat and text only, you rarely ever spoke to someone. Most of it was over chat or email.
Right.
I've forged some really great friendships and over that kind of so you don't really need the intersectionality in terms of actually meeting each other in person. That's why online dating works so well at first, right? Is that you're just emailing back and forth, or I guess these days kids text or whatever, or send dick pics, or
obviously.
Are we talking about Jess again?
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah, but I mean, there is something special, meeting someone who you've never actually met in person, so you really do, in a way, get to know them through their words and their proposed actions. Obviously, if you meet them in person and get to know them, more intimately, you can be let down or even more impressed. But I completely agree with that. I really do think that online friendships are just as valid as in-person friendships.
I agree too. In fact, I was so inspired by your story. Part of me wanted to say, I love how open you are about your friendship with this person. I also wanted to take it immediately and put some Houston music over it, right? To like, and I will always love, and see you guys walking on the beach with still pictures. Do some 80s montage.
I was trying to find a way to propose that, start that story out, and I was like, man, this just sounds kind of weird either way, so you might as well just roll with it.
Oh, that's interesting. So Solid Dream in the chat room said, I share with only a few friends in person, but online friends I can be more open with. And that's fascinating. Yeah. That is fascinating. And that's sort of a sign of the times too, right? There's something about the anonymity of not being there.
Yes.
You don't have shared social responsibilities. You're really just pure friends in some way, right? Because you don't have any conflicts. It's not like, hey, I want to go to this movie, you want to go to that movie? Right? We're just doing a share, and it's usually over a shared thing that you like together, a video game, a pork sandwich. I don't know. I'm just making up words at this point. But I think that, I think there's something there to what you're saying is like sometimes I think that online friends can be more intense in some ways because a lot of it takes place in your head, right? Whereas in the real world, it sort of plays out. So I don't think that there's any value distinction. I don't think it's better or worse. I think they're just a different form of friendship, right? So, okay, let's move on to the next question. Let's talk about what's the historical context of like friend or foe. Because that's what this word sort of comes from, right? Where people used to shake the fucking hand to make sure the other guy didn't have a weapon and be like, oh, hello, friend, you're not going to kill me. And now we've taken...
Are you conflating the word friend with handshake?
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, but that was the idea, right? That the reason you did the handshake was to decide immediately if they were friend, because they were friendly, they weren't going to murder me or they were going to kill me. And that's kind of where that came from. Like, hello, friend. I mean, I've watched too many old fucking movies, so that's where I'm sort of drawing from. But I think that we're sort of, we're trying to overly define this word in some way, right? I kind of hate that. For me, I have a ton of friends online. I make friends all the time. I make friends within the context of one video game together with somebody. One. Sure. And I feel like, or one coffee with somebody, I'd be like, yeah, I like that guy. I consider him a friend. And that's kind of like my tab on it. Now, who's my closest friends? I think that I feel that my closest friends, just give my input on this, is like people who understand me the most. People who get me. You know what I mean? Because I'm a very, I think, complicated person. So people who really understand why I'm doing something or are forgiving of some of the things that I do, you know, because they get the motivation behind it, and also enjoy my company and maybe would lend a hand in a dire situation or even a helpful situation. Those are all, for me, like qualifiers. But a lot of people in this chat room and the people I meet online, these are friends. And I've had moments with them that were intimate, and I think that's great too. Somebody's typing. What do you do, guys?
No, it's me. Sorry. I did the very thing that I fucking hate that everyone else does.
Yeah, I literally felt like every fucking 15-year-old kid feels when trying to have a conversation with their friend as they type away into their phone to somebody else at this moment. And that's up to me. It's kind of a story of my fucking life. I don't know. Listen, for those of you out there who are under 25, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you sort of like have these relationships with the people in front of you and yet interact with people from afar. And I do it too. I'm guilty too. But do you feel like, I wonder if it hurts your ability to connect with the person that you're with? Or is there some shield that you're putting up subconsciously to not have to interact in a more visceral way? You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Honestly, I hear that shit all the time, and I'm sorry, I probably have a better perspective on this. But honestly, I think we do try to, like, obviously there's a social change that comes with people who are young, who've grown up with the technology, is ubiquitous, whatever. But they're not fundamentally different people. It's just the avenues have changed or expanded. Or contracted as well. Like I know who I hate saying young people. I'm only like in my mid 40s, but like people in their 20s, and they're like, oh, I feel like my options for engaging with people are unlimited online, but so limited in person. But I think the virtual friendship, right, is less intimidating, and we're always going to take that route in a way, right? Because what is the number one anxiety is social anxiety, right? Whether it's public speaking or being with people. And of course, many, many, many of us love being around people and interacting, but it's so much better to do it on your own terms.
That's interesting.
So that's the change, I think, that the technology has brought. So anyway, Redneck, I interrupted you. I wanted to see what you wanted.
Yeah, because you do that. You're a total dick. Please, Redneck, go ahead.
Suck my dick.
So we're not that kind of friends.
Oh, sorry.
I know it's no. We're not walking on the beach like some people.
Yeah. I
that's
love
not
romance.
that's not a slam on your relationship with your friend, by the way. That's just a basic innuendo that I inserted into this conversation.
I'm just such a sucker for romance.
You are.
I mean, you can definitely tell.
So OC Diva asks, so when guys rip on one another, they're friends? Sometimes. I think that with guys, it's all about intention, right? So there's a jostling that happens between guys that we do, but and sometimes we have to discern who's fucking with us and who's actually just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? You're laughing
Jester.
because you're laughing because somebody in the chat room said Jess is very good at inserting. That's what you're laughing at. That's what Mike has now offered to the chat, the comedy relief. Thank you, Mike Dosick, for the comedy relief on that one. JJ Hope in the chat room said, growing up with phones, it's pretty nonchalant. When with friends, with strangers, the phone is a nice gateway to avoid unwanted conversation.
Sure.
Some friends, you just enjoy their company. You don't need to be face-to-face. Conversation is always while in the same room. It's very interesting. I mean, it is a buffer, and it's a new kind of buffer. But what's interesting to me is that this is fascinating to me. People will talk in Discord, which is a online server thing, right? They'll talk in a video game, right? But they won't talk on a phone. It's very strange. Like, if something's more tech savvy, they'll use it to communicate verbally, and if they won't, like, then they need to just type and put emoticons and shit like that. Yeah. So anyway, and Puppy said, exactly, I, for one, love listening to Jeskid and his schnoz. I don't know how to take that, except to rub my nose.
Does the schnoz talk too?
A little bit. It adds some of the nasality.
Man,
it's a passage. It's a passage. It's a nasal
nose.
Listen, bro, the nose knows, okay? Is it big or is it just pronounced? It's not Adrian Brody, but it's a little bigger than it's bigger than a Pacino, but it's not a Brody.
What I'm saying is you could land a 747 on that thing.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to be on that fucking 747 taking a fucking jetway to my fucking mouth, you prick?
That's right.
I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, that got really weird. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's disturbing. I just yucked myself. Yuck. Right? And I'd march with myself if that's what I wanted, just for the record. But I don't want anybody riding this nose into my mouth. Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. We're moving on with the big long arms. Big long arms.
Actually, Jesse, when you were texting me earlier about the subject for the show, and you're like, it's friendship and what's friendship mean, and you were like the guy I say hi to when I buy my coffee. Is that guy my fucking friend?
Is he my fucking friend?
I thought that was I really, really like that too, because it actually brings up some like pet peeves of me.
Right.
Like for me, like when I go to my local convenience store, the thing I hate the most is when someone fucking comments on what I buy, or they know my patterns. They're like, "Oh, no cranberry juice today." I'm like, don't comment on what I'm buying.
Oh,
like,
where's that? What? You didn't get the Monistat 7 again.
Where's the inferred familiarity that allows? Oh, you didn't buy a pack of giant condoms today.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, of course you.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't think that's ever happened to me. If somebody said no can of Copenhagen today, I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's like, oh, are you off heroin? Like, what? Why is that your business? Why is that your fucking business? Mind your business. But though I do get in people's business a little bit. I'll be honest with you. But when I do it, I always apologize for saying, "Oh, I hope you don't mind me saying, but those are really cool shoes or something." Whatever the fuck I say, because I want to make sure that I'm just like, "Oh, do you mind if I comment?" And if they allow me to, then I talk about their, whatever, fucked up jaw or something like that. I don't know what comes out of my mouth next. I'm a weird guy. So,
hey, nice hair lip.
After I mortify them. So I agree with you. We used to make a joke, me and my friend John, in high school. There used to be a fucking deli, right? And they could never remember my name. No one knew who we were. But every day I came in and they had 14 ways to call me friend. I'd be coming in and they say, "Hey, buddy. What's up? What do you need, champ? What's that, chief? Hey there, guy." Right? Like, like, "Hey, buddy, pal, friend." Right? No, I'm none of those things. You don't even know my fucking name. You don't even know what sandwich I want. You're just doing that to get my business. And that's not a friend. That guy is not a friend. He's off the friend list. So I'm just saying. So I don't like it when people do that too.
Good.
Yes.
Like people from where I'm from, and I do this a ton, is I just say, "Bub."
Bub. Okay.
I say, what are you getting today there, bub?
So would you say that there's a differentiator between being friendly and being friends?
For sure, yeah. I mean, you can be friendly to they might say, well, that guy being you comes in and gets a sandwich and he's not a dick. So it's like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" Because he's not going to be a dick. So you think friendly can grow into friends? And why are they not really that friendly when you go to eat at Friendly's? That I never understood. Is that a restaurant?
You
It
don't
used
never
to
need
be.
Friendlies? Is it not around anymore? Holy
Are
shit.
What is
Friendly's
that?
still around?
I thought it was. I went to one like 2 years ago when I was driving across the country. So they still make that sweet ass peanut butter fucking ice cream thing. So all those people, they're my friends. They're all instantly my friends. I walk in and be like, hey man, it's good to see you. Don't remember me? I'm the guy that gets a discount. This shit works. Let me tell you. This shit works. Listen, I'll tell you this right now. I call customer service for credit cards where I buy all this equipment on. For Bank of America, this and that. I'll be like, hey, man, how's it going? Oh, how's your day? I give them 400 fucking versions of that. By the end of that call, I know that everybody has been such a dick to that person. They'll take off last 2 months' interest on my credit card.
Oh, yeah, dude, let's do a public service announcement.
Public service announcement.
Now.
Do-do-do.
Dude, the more you know. If you have a problem that needs to be resolved and you are going through customer support, be fucking nice to that person.
Yes.
You can still be persistent and be nice.
Yes,
right?
100%.
This is and this goes back to the old adage, someone who's nice to you but mean to the waiter is not a nice person.
Oh,
Yeah,
agree with this
I
completely.
completely
That is my
agree, too.
number one sign of who will be my friend. Number one.
Totally.
I worked with a guy at this fucking company. We're not going to say which company, right? And he was a sales guy. And I'm not saying all sales guys are evil, but some are. And whatever, we go to this sales meeting. We're pitching like some big fucking brand. And I'm like wowing the guy. And the guy's loving me. He's like, oh, you're the greatest. And then we get in the cab on the way home. And he's such a dick to the cab driver. He's like, go here, you idiot. And I look over, I'm like, wow, dude, thank you for showing me this side of you. I had no idea existed. Peace out, goodbye. I had something to tell you that was of extreme. You talk for a second, Guy. I got to refill my brain. It's coming back.
Yeah, no. I honestly feel like the way that part of the way I judge a friend is how I see them treat other people. If I see them treat other people, obviously you don't have to treat me with the same exact respect they would treat me, a friend. But if I see them treat someone, poorly, just because they can,
right?
I don't like that person. That is immediately grounds for friend divorce.
100%. There's no reason to be like that to people, just in any situation, unless they're directly being a dick to you and being difficult to you personally.
So
it's just like one of those things where, like, if you want to, like, I don't know, if you go to a fast food restaurant and they get your order wrong, it's just like there's no reason to, walk in there and slam it down. And I've seen people do this, man. Like I was in a Wendy's one time and I saw a lady, slam her drink down and say this wasn't made right, and stood at the counter, telling the girl, that's not how much of this you put in that's not how much of this. It's like, man, like, that's a real person with feelings, and they're just trying to do their job. And, people make mistakes. It's natural. You just can't treat people that way.
I got to tell you this one story. It's a little off topic. And by the way, those that are coming into the chat room now, this is a live broadcast of the Jeskidding show. We're talking about friendship and what the fuck is friendship and who are you really friends? I had this one customer service call, and I don't know if this is on topic off. I don't really care. I just think it's interesting. And had this really nice lady from the Philippines, right? And I think I'm just going to shout out. I think it was for T-Mobile, right? And I called her, and there was something going on my account, something, whatever it was. And I said, oh, well, are there any plans? Did I get charged for this? I was super nice. And then she starts saying, well, how was your Christmas? My Christmas was great, right? And then I was like, oh, how are you? And I said, well, and then we had this conversation about being nice to people. She says, sir, I don't want to do an impression of a Filipino lady, but it may just come out. Forgive me. I don't mean to offend, but it is my show. That's what I do. And she's like, hi, sir. It's going to sound terrible, right?
Good.
Yeah,
just let it out.
Thank you. So she's like, oh, well, how's your Christmas? And I'm like, oh, it's good. How are you? And, it must be hard working there. I'm sure you get a lot of jerks. Yes, we do. And she says, you're so nice, sir. I'm going to give you $50 off. I'm like, whoa, $50. That's really nice of you. Holy, she's like, you didn't have to do that. And then she's like, and then she paused. And then she starts making like really small talk.
And then you were like, hey, that would pay for rice for your entire village for 3 years. That's when you got really offensive. Oh, sorry. I just did it so you didn't.
I'm trying not to. Yes.
We'll fix that in post-production.
Yeah, that's going to be edited.
It's no big deal.
Completely in. Because comedy, even sometimes when racy, is comedy. And if you can't take a joke, then you should never be listening to people making them. It is what it is. All right, moving on from that. So anyway, she goes on, and she's super nice. And I'm like, by the end of it, it was like we're becoming friends in this phone call because she obviously doesn't want to deal with any other people, right? And then she's like, you know, sir, you're so nice. I'm going to give you $100 off. Now the shit is starting to get good, right? I'm like, she just, your next credit, you'll have credits on your bill. You won't have to pay for your cell phone bill. I'm like, holy shit, she's fucking amazing. And then she says, I'm so glad you called because you're not like the black ones that call from the U.S. I can always tell they're black because the way they speak to me.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, bitch, you being recorded. This is T-Mobile's listening, right? And I didn't know what to say to her. Because do I A, call her out for, you know, what she's saying? Because I was so shocked by it. Or B, you know, take my $100. It's like, I didn't know what to do. And then she's like, oh, leave me a, and then after the call, leave me like a positive rating, this and that. I don't even, you know, I'm not even going to tell you what I did, for the record. I'm not going to say what I did because I don't want to be judged either way. But that's
that is crazy, right?
That's one of those moments. If I were to meet that lady in real life, assuming she's not trying to marry me and get out of her country, right? If I was to meet that lady in real life, right? That's a friendship ender. That's a friendship ender, because if you enter into a friendship, remember we talked about it's all about intention, right? I know I don't think I did the survey. I don't think I gave her high marks or whatever, this and that. I still got my $100 off though. Fucking get my $100. You can go back to your racist ass life. So it all is about intention. So if I have a friend who makes whatever joke, you know, like Guy did, right? I know Guy's intention towards other people, you know? So I understand him. But if I don't understand you and you come at me like that, just like being mean to a waiter, like that's your fucking opening, I don't want anything to do with you. Because I don't know what other fucking creepy ass skeletons you got in that T-Mobile closet. So
right. Isn't that like interesting?
Strange. It was a strange moment.
Sure,
it's a relationship killer.
No, I think it's happened to all of us, right?
Right.
Where you meet someone, you're like, oh, this person's cool, you know that. I mean,
right.
Obviously, it's a disassociated example with something like customer service, but you're like, this person's awesome, and then they're like, hey, did you see that black guy? Like, you're like, oh god, now.
Or that white guy or that Chinese guy or whatever.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Look, we've all been guilty of some dumb shit, but that was just like you on the fucking phone for they listen. Anyway, so moving past that, I had another one for you in a second. So Redneck, give me your perspective on just about anything so I can clear my head from that lady and her fucking trashy comment.
Well,
Please.
yeah, I mean, if somebody said something like that to me, it's definitely not somebody I would associate with, because definitely a firm believer that you judge someone by the content of their character, because all races of people can be pricks or really nice people. It's really not synonymous with any one
obviously
type.
and you'd have to be
how that happens.
you have to be a fucking idiot. You really do to think those things. I understand relationship.
Sure.
I understand being exposed to a certain group of people and having similar experiences, and the brain trying to be like, oh, that must be result in X personality traits in those people, but that's just stupid and ignorant and lack of exposure.
Like that, like if you're looking at a guy and you're saying I can't be friends with him because of that, you're really doing yourself a disservice by doing that, because you're potentially losing out on a lifelong friend and like knowing a great person who could really change you for the better.
Right. So
it's just a really terrible thing to do.
So back to friendship. So part of making friends, right, is these initial sort of attractions between the two of you, common interests, maybe moments that you spend in more dire situations, more intense situations that bring you closer together, and then the test of time to see if it lasts. You know. Really quick, I'm going to go to Yuki Ohana from the chat room. Says, what I believe there are classes of friendship, like first, they are a stranger. 2, familiar faces. 3, colleagues. 4, friend who you enjoy time with. And 5, friend that you like, that are like a sister and brother, someone you can open your heart up to. So everybody has those kinds of things. What the frick is going on? What's up, Fox? So Fox is now in the chat room, and she wants to know what's going on. We're talking about friendship and what is friendship. And I'm here with Redneck Rebel, and I'm here with Guy Rader. 2 friends of mine. One friend I've never met. and is only known on the internet, but I feel like we have a lot in common. And one of the comments I got on last week's podcast was, it's unbelievable how you and Redneck are so different, like on paper, but yet have so much chemistry in when speaking, right? Because we're not that different. Just the assumption is that we're different. Because the people look at me and they're like, you're some hook-nosed Jew, right? And there's some big head redneck, you know? And I'm not a hook-nosed Jew because I'm only partially Jewish, so you're only a little right.
Yeah, I mean,
and about you, I don't know. I haven't spent that much quality time with you. But as you learn to like each other more, right? You learn more. It's like flags to go forward. It's like, oh, I like you here. Let's go to here. I like you here. Let's go to here. And then eventually, over time, that's when real friendship is created. Because you're testing the person over time. They're revealing themselves, not only who they are, but who they become alongside you. I think that that's really what makes a friendship go. But for me, I'm an open person. Like a lot of the people I see in the chat room, these people are becoming my friends. These people are people that I consider an active part of my life. Some people have just contributed comments. Some people have put their presence into a thing that I enjoy. Some people have even contributed things that I need for resources. And I'm like, wow, that person really looks out for me. That person is a friend. And I use the term pretty liberally. For me, and everybody's different, we've discussed this. For me, I think that friendship starts, for me, like pretty givingly. I'm pretty much like, you're my friend until you take that. And I gave that to you. That's my gift to you, and you gave it to me. And then if you do something to fuck it up, well, then that offer's rescinded and peace out very quickly. And that's sometimes a very sad moment for me. I've lost friends online here that I really enjoyed their company, but they did certain things, and this has happened a number of times, that were unacceptable. And there's a hard cliff for me. There's like, you're off the cliff. And that's it. Because our friendship is not founded in 14 years together, you know, going through a war, or we went through, you know, whatever divorces or whatever those things were, they weren't there. So those friendships people have to be more careful with, because when they commit those acts, that cliff is fast. Because it's just like, okay, boom, 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 and you can erase it quickly. But even in those moments, I was hurt by losing friends online. Hurt by it.
Well, so that brings up a good point, right? Like that. A lot of people will hold on to, and I know I've done it, hold on to toxic relationships, friendships, simply because of the amount of time that you spent with them.
Right.
And like, it's like, how many different chances?
When are you gonna let go? When are you gonna like at some point you gotta be like, either let's go or let's work our way through this. But I understand that completely, and you just stick around. I mean, we made a movie. The first feature film I made online was about friendship. And about a group of guys who wouldn't let go of a asshole friend. I played the asshole, right? And Guy was one of the friends. And the whole story is like, what is friendship? And when is it time to sort of re-embrace and who really are people? So there's one more topic I think we should discuss at the end here is, why is friendship devalued? Like when we refer to, like, I hate this saying, when people aren't dating, it's like man, woman especially, they say, oh, we're just friends. Like, why is that word just in there? I've never understood this. It's like, it's almost like there's a relationship, right? And then friendship is like fucking down here, right? And I know plenty of people in relationships, they're not friends at all. In fact, their relationships are worse than some of my friendships.
Sure.
And the fact that they say, oh, we're just friends, like, it's almost like it's a belittling of it. It's a different category. It should not be a hierarchy. In fact, the relationships that I know that are better, like people who are in more romantic relationships, more intimate relationships, those people are actually friends with their partner too.
Yes.
In addition to being romantically involved. In fact, those are the friendship is what's going to keep their relationship going. So I never have understood this thing. So what's your take on this subject?
Well, I mean, I think if you announce it publicly, say, oh, we're just friends. Sorry, I'm away from the mic. If you say, we're just friends, it is an enunciator for we're not in a sexual relationship. Doesn't necessarily mean signaling interest in whoever's asking the question,
right,
whatever. But it is a way to say things. And the other thing is, Me Too movement or not, right? The whole just friends thing is really an interesting self. Simply, and I say this simply because I was part of it for far longer part of my life than I ever like to admit. Right.
Right.
It was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Really?
Here in there.
Oh, sorry. All right, so maybe it's time for Redneck to take over.
Yeah, I feel like you're inhaling a lot of friendship or something. So you're taking very deep breaths. I'm like, Guy, do you need a Redneck is a firefighter. He can come do CPR. You can be best friends.
And I'm actually certified in first response.
I knew that. I knew that. Do you become friends with all the people that you save in your firefighting?
Honestly, no. I mean, I've never talked to somebody after the fact when things like that have happened.
It'd be a little weird, right?
I guess depending on the situation. I mean, it's like, it's not somebody I'm going to call on the phone the next day and be like, "Hey, are you doing all right?" But it's like in the moment, I'll certainly be compassionate.
Right.
You'll be like, want to know how they're doing.
And be like, "Hey, man, remember that time we hung out and you got those third-degree burns?" Right.
Remember that time I drug you out by your ankles there?
Yeah. Remember when you were butt naked and your wife was on fire? Wasn't that great? That's how we met. It's like the story of our meeting.
I'm afraid to tell some stories if fire calls on a recording. No, if I do that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Don't put yourself in jeopardy. So we're doing a talk on friendship today. Let's sum this up with each one of our point of views on what is friendship, right? Friendship to me, I feel that friendship is the most important thing about being human. That's how strongly I feel about friendship. I feel that the friendship that I have with not only, people in my life, my family members, my mom, my mom is my friend. Even like my friendship with, even you could say this about animals. There's a lot of people whose animals are their friends, and who's to say that that's not as valued as anything else? I think that friendship should be put on a pedestal. I feel that, I have a rating party coming into my chat room. That's hilarious. I think speaking of friends. So I've made so many friends. We're talking about friendship today, guys. Chat room here. And the whole, like, what is friendship? When does it get fucked up? When do you leave a friend? When is a friend a fucking asshole? We really haven't gotten to that thing. We should talk about that a little bit too. But so a friend to me is the most important thing in the world. And I feel that I've made so many of those online, offline. If I didn't have friends in my life, I don't know what my life would be. But we're going to talk about friends who are secretly haters in a second too. In fact, let's jump to that. What about those friends? And thank you for the raid, by the way. What about those friends that you start to suspect don't have your best interests at heart? They're actually friends in disguise. Like friendship in disguise. Fuck your face. Okay, go ahead.
I think that's probably just a personal assessment. I mean, you really have to make with them. Situationally, of course, it's like really hard to put something like that into any good context. But
Right.
I think if you suspect that, then I think just detached. Like don't let them in on things. Don't allow them to be so involved if you think so.
So do you have arm's length friends that you have? I do. I have people that are like, hey, get the fuck. They kind of still my friends because they're kind of in my circle, but they don't know that they're out. They're not in the fucking circle. If I drew the circle, I'd be in here. These motherfuckers be out here.
I'm not sure. I mean, usually, like if I suspect that anybody that I'm actively communicating with, it doesn't have my best interests at heart, I kind of just slowly, like, there's really no like big confrontation that's going to happen. I just say, well, this is what it is, and I've got plenty of other friends.
You're pretty straightforward about it. You get rid of them.
I just detach. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to have their best interest, they ought to have mine. I mean, I just think that's fair.
That's totally fair. So but I live in I'm in entertainment, right? And entertainment is the most superficial place on the planet, where even people who fucking hate each other like speak to each other like they're the best friends in the whole world. Yeah, everything is like, oh yeah, I'll be there. I'm gonna be there Tuesday. I'm gonna be there. These are the worst fucking people. These people make me not want to be like in entertainment at all. Like, because if I don't like you, I fucking tell you. I'm like, yo, I don't fucking like you. And I'm sorry that I don't like you, and that's cool. We're just going to agree to disagree. Let's go our own separate ways. But I hate that shit of like, yo, I'm going to be there on Tuesday. Let's get coffee. And then Tuesday comes, they don't call you back. And they just keep blowing you off. I think friends are people who constantly demonstrate to each other that they have value in each other's lives. Like, and I make a lot of friends online, and those people have value to me. But part of this is like people helping each other. Like, we get a lot of traffic from other channels right here. We just got some now. And I appreciate that. And that puts me, it's somebody did something nice for me. So thank you for doing that, by the way, by bringing people in to listen to what we have to say here today. And you kind of remember that. But is that friendship? And I'm not saying it's not in this case. But is that friendship? Because it just makes me feel like, oh, I'd like to do something for that person in the future. What I think that is it's the beginning of a friendship. And I think that those things can blossom into a friendship over time. And that's just me being real about it.
What I resent sometimes is what you might call friend equity, right? Is that someone who's like, I'm putting so much into this friendship, and now you owe me.
Ooh, I fucking hate those people. I hate those people. I had one of those poisonous people in my life lately, or is doing something to somebody I cared about, and they showed up. Oh my God, they showed up in one of my family members' lives at a very particular time, and the people out there will know what this is. And they were just there in an emergency, and they were like, oh my God, I'm going to do everything for you. But they went back to that thing I told you before was they had no other friends, and they all of a sudden wanted to be our best friend. And we're like, yo, they're fucking 40 years old. Why do they have no friends? And why are they glomming on?
Point,
scary. And then they start like investing and building this immediate equity so that at some point, very in the soon future, they can suck the fucking life out of you. And they've done this to many people over the years, and that's why they have no friends. And you have to recognize them. They're like friendship vampires. They really are. They're vampires.
No, it's
fucking
true.
vampires. And the problem is they don't.
I like that.
They're vampires, and they don't fucking. There's not like a thing you can't stake them, right? You can't put them in the sunlight because they come around during the day too. They just want to suck the fucking living energy out of you and all the friendship you have to give, and they give what seems like 100%, but really they're giving 1%, and they want 1,000,000% back in a short amount of time. And you're like, why is this person, what? And you don't recognize it at first. It's like they're wearing this, I have a creepy mask in the background. It's for a game character. It's like they come in wearing that fucking mask. They're like, oh, they must just be your friendly neighborhood Reaper. But they're not. They're much worse than the Reaper. They're like gonna kill your fucking soul. God, that triggered the shit out of me because this happens and they're good at it. That's how they survive.
It is a really good point, though, to say that, like, friend equity, because we talked earlier about, like, friendships, you want things to be reciprocated, but it's kind of like an unspoken thing.
Like a friendship. So forgive me, I don't mean to interrupt you. We're going to say like a friendship reach around. Please continue.
Yeah. It's because it's like, everything, all the favors and nice things I've ever done for my friends, I've never asked for anything in return.
Right.
And it's really not expected. Like, really the only thing that I expect is just be my friend.
Right.
Be a good guy, be, honest and cool with me and have my best interests. Like, because I think if you say you owe me, that sounds like more like a business.
Yeah,
it's
I agree
like,
with that.
I did you this favor and now you owe me.
100%. Yeah.
I agree with that. I feel, as to what you're saying, I give freely. That's just my way. But I think that maybe you and I have that in common, and that's why we're friends. You know what I mean? Or becoming better friends. I think that, like, I just give freely, and I try not to expect. Because then I'm just disappointed when I expect too much from people. But at some point, you hope that there's a natural reciprocation that comes back from that. And I think as you get older, as you age, this is a good thing about getting older. As you get older and you age, you start to say to yourself, I lost my train of thought because somebody in the chat room, Firefighter, said weird angle, to be honest. Right? So, I'm on camera, obviously, for those that are not listening to this. And I'm like, well, what's weird about it? Is my hook nose too hooky over here? What is it? It's got friendly bokeh. I don't know if we can be friends after that comment, Firefighter. We're doing no, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think it's a weird angle. I think it's a nice angle. I'm very self-conscious, by the way. It's very easy to trigger my ego. Right? So if you want to be my friend, I suggest not doing it, or you may meet the other guy. And that guy he's not a nice friend. But look I got two. Oh, now you wrote too sexy. So now you've come back from it. See, he's mitigated it. He's now put equity back into the friendship. He took some out.
Because
he took an equity deposit.
The angle, and now he can see the rest of you.
That's fair.
So,
he wanted the full body. He wanted to see my sweet jeans. You're not banned. You're awesome, dude. Okay, so I think that we've gotten to some really crucial points, right? So what is it that starts a friendship? Well, we've defined that in many ways. There's some sort of attraction. Doesn't have to be sexual, obviously. Let's talk about friends with benefits real quick. I'm fascinated by friends with benefits.
Actually, so can I pull a small room and say, have either of you ever actually truly had a friend with benefits? That is someone who you had a romantic, sexual relationship with, who was also a friend, and there was never expectation beyond that to actually have be in a relationship.
It's funny that your mic starts to break up even talking about this subject because it's a very slippery slope. But we heard you.
Sorry,
dude. No, we heard you.
I'm showing a good ping.
You got a good ping. No, I'm not gonna. No jokes around that. So, friends with benefits. So I think of friends with benefits. I don't even know why the word friend is in there, because once it becomes friends with benefits, it's either we're either very soon not going to be friends anymore, or we're going to be in a relationship, or we're going to break up, right? So it's going to be...
You're a bang pad or you're not.
Yeah, once you get to friends with benefits, friends is basically over. But there are some cases that you can be adults about it. That's not 100% true, because I have had instances in the past where it's like, oh, well, just stop that. But for the most part, friends with benefits has nothing to do with being friends, and it just complicates everything. That's my opinion on it.
I think it definitely shifts, right? Like one person usually starts to feel differently than the other.
Right,
I think
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen that go down successfully.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. So,
I mean, if it has, I've never heard of it. I've had a lot of friends that have done that. It's like, oh, we're friends, and if we feel like having sex or whatever, we do. But I think it always inevitably ends with somebody, maybe having different feelings, and
right.
And it's just like Frappus King says. I mean, hey, I don't see anything wrong with it either. If that's what two people are happy with doing, then good for them, I guess.
Right. I just want to go to Mr. Korvac said, a relationship is friendship, but you also enjoy each other on the side, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with that. And he also said he has a question.
Totally.
Is to try to define an actual intimate relationship in which the partners are not friends. Listen, we talked about this before you came in and said that the best relationships, you are friends. And that doesn't mean you have to have every sort of thing in common. I think one of the worst things about the idea of gender and roles, I'm only throwing gender in because it's part of roles, is that roles trap people. Roles trap people into, well, you're the man, so you only have to go hang out with your male friends and do man things, and you're the woman and go have to hang out with your other women friends and do women things. And so what that does is it just creates really a divide, even in the relationship itself, of like, who are you? Like sometimes there are obviously things that are more gender specific or other roles that you play in this world, but a lot of being in a relationship is not only, there's two things that make a relationship work friendship wise. Being interested in some of the same things, and also being accepting of the things that your partner is not interested in as well, and being supportive of it. But that can be said for friendship as well. If you have those two things, acceptance of their things, that sometimes like you go to something that somebody else likes because they like it. Like a really good friendship or relationship is really one where you'll do things because you like to see them happy. Does that make sense? Like go to a restaurant because they like the food, because you are invested in them, with that equity. Yeah, but it's not just compromise. It's more deep than that, in the way of like, if I know you love whatever, I'm not gonna say barbecue because you're from the South. If I know you love Korean food, and they don't have great Korean food where you are, you like new things, and you come to New York, I'm gonna take you to a Korean restaurant. I'm not gonna pay for it, but I'm gonna take you there.
Well, I'll say, like, just to add in, when I say compromise, it's like, you may not want Korean food that day, but you know they like it and you want to treat them. So it's like you do that instead of whatever alternative you considered, is what I mean by that. But,
I'm thinking about some of my best friendships. And a lot of them are formed online. That's fact. But some of my best friendships are really ones where we just, after a little while, want to see the other person happy. And that sounds really sort of like overly romantic, but it's just true. It's like if I went to a screening for my film that Guy was in, for Jeskid TV show, which is, you can go down below. It's a television pilot we made. You can find the link. It's very good. And all of my crew and cast went to the screening and the festival with me. And they were there for themselves, for their own careers, for the experience itself. So it wasn't just about me.
We were using you, Jesse.
No, not at all. In fact, but a lot of the reasons they went is to support me and to see me happy. And that's very special for me. That says, wow, and even that thing didn't go exactly as I wanted, even though we did very well. And they were there for me in that moment. And I was like so thankful to have people in my life that cared how I felt about something or wanted me to feel better. And like, I have a chat room full of people here, and I love it. I'm so excited that you guys want to hang out with me. I'm honored by it. But even within this chat room, there'll be a day there's 20, 30, 40 people here in this chat room. There are people in that room that, for whatever their own self-motivated reason is, they don't want to see me do well. They want to see me fail. And that's a hard...
Yeah, it's called Schadenfreude, right?
What is Schadenfreude? Please explain this to my uneducated chat room. Meaning me. I'm uneducated, so please tell me.
Yeah, so sorry. I
can't hear you guys.
Schadenfreude is taking joy in other people's display.
Right, and there is that. That exists. And so those are people I try to identify, but they hide it well sometimes. And sometimes it's because other people are mean to them or have done it to them, or they're not happy, or there's a hole in their heart. And they're able to pretend like they're your friend, but secretly they're wishing for you to fail. And it could be from jealousy or whatever. I mean, this is a growing channel. It's getting better. We're getting more viewers all the time. This could go somewhere. Who knows? There are people that would love nothing better than to see it as it gets bigger, crash and burn. And because it will sort of misery loves company them. You know what I mean? Like, it will give them some sense that, oh, well, at least that guy fucking failed, so I'm okay, or something. I can't even explain it. So, and like I said, they hide it very well. So I have to be very careful how I find those people, because they're good at, they've gotten professional at sort of masking the fact that they're not your friend. And I want to be surrounded, but I can't control it either. And I have to recognize that too. I can't control how people treat me. I can only control how I treat other people. So those people, like at the cliff, off the cliff, I'll be nice to somebody else. No problem. I want to go to the chat room for a second.
Dude, people are trolls, dude. It's true. It's weird how they were to those things.
My friend asked me, Mr. Korvac asked me in the chat room, he said, what are your opinions on over-generous friends? They buy things for their friends in order to spend time with them. Often they refuse charity from others in return. I've dealt with this in different ways over the years, because I have been sort of an online guy, and charity is necessary, and not charity, support is a better way to put it, to have a successful channel. So it's a little bit of a different circumstance, but I have had people try to spend their way into my life. And that's okay. Like, and there's nothing wrong with it if it's coming from a good place. But I feel like it's all intention, right? Everything is intention. If the intention behind it is a good one and it's just a person who wants to be my friend, then no problem. And I appreciate what they've done, and I acknowledge it to them. But if the intention is just to put in 10% and take out 2,000 later, then no, I don't want your money, because your money is not worth what you're going to ask for later or think that I owe you. That's where the danger is. I don't mind overly generous friends. I think it's amazing that people do something. I'm so respectful of it. I'm honored by it. But if it's done with the expectation of a payback that I didn't agree to, then I don't want it. If it's done just from the goodness of their heart, then I really, really, really appreciate it. And I consider it just a true act of kindness. And I see that person as a kind person. And that gives them another level in my eyes of being a friend. Not because they spent a lot of money, because they wanted to do something for you without the expectation of some payback. That's my answer.
That's a good way to place that, because like it's just part of the, like we kind of touched on a little bit ago, right? Where it's like you do really nice things for your friends, but you don't, expect anything in return. It's just like anyone that like supports your stream like monetarily or just views it and is just a part of it. It's like, you really, there's definitely a line there, right? Like if they feel like they have to give you stuff to give your attention or to get your attention, I think maybe that's a person you can sit down and talk with and maybe set a boundary. Like, look, man, it doesn't have to be like that. I like you for you, but I appreciate your support.
But I will say,
definitely
I agree with you completely. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I really apologize if I do that.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, cool.
Something to add?
Yeah. I just want to say, and my brain it moves so quickly on this topic that sometimes I lose it too. I have a habit. There is a point though, like where the whole nice guys finish last, right? First of all, the whole I love the line, don't confuse my sensitivity for weakness, because sometimes sensitive people are really fucking tough, and you do not want to fuck with them. You don't, trust me. But I think that I can be too nice sometimes, and there comes a point where I'm so nice to people and I give them so much. Where I can tell that there'll never be any reciprocity to it. There'll never be anything that comes back. That's at the point, or somebody's just sucking the energy from me and not giving anything back to me. At that point, you have to say, hey, listen, this is not one way. And I'm not giving you all of this, whatever I'm giving you, because necessarily I expect something. But at some point, I'm not forcing it on you, but at some point, at least an acknowledgement or something has to come back. I mean, we're talking about like in real life friends too. Like
no. I mean, I think what you're talking about, you have obviously a lot of experience and a lot of good and energy in you. I mean, I've known you for 25 years, and I feel like your input is so persistent and amazing. That not that you're expecting the exact same in return, but your expectations are that
something.
It's going to be a little bit something.
Something. Yeah, because I give a lot.
It is still transactional, right? So we're friendship can be transactional. That
yeah, I agree with that. I like equity in that way too. I've had a lot of situations more professionally, and this is a very sad topic for me. Where and there'll be another podcast on the arts and all this. This is coming. This is going to be at least a weekly thing. This thing may be twice a week at some point, and it's going to be on iTunes and it's going to be on YouTube. I put them on YouTube after. So there's a lot of these conversations coming. But it's been very hard for me as a friend to people, and sometimes it's a business friend too. You can be business friends. You can be colleagues, right? Where I've given a lot to people. I've helped create people's careers. I've been a turning point in other people's careers. I've helped people become famous, and they are very fast to forget me, and that's hard. And we're talking famous. I'm not talking about regular, this guy's got attention or gal's got attention. Famous. And that's very tough, or some project is stolen or whatever that road is, and you just put that in the world, and then when it does not get reciprocated at some point, part of you, the inside part of you, wants to become more jaded, right? And wants to be a shittier person to other people. You want to be a less giving friend because of what's been taken from you, or
you want to be hardened, right?
You want to harden up. You want to be this, not. But my way has always been, in friendship, in life, is the more you take from me, the more open I become. The more you destroy me, the kinder I become. That's just my way, because I'm not going to let their non-reciprocal friendship equity, be it business or personal, change who I am. My resolve will become stronger. And in the end, in the business sense, there is no, you can't take any of it with you. It doesn't exist. Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or some movie star, they've not lived a better life than me. In fact, to get where they've had to get, they've had to burn a lot of friends and do things that I would never do, or at least don't think I would do, or hope I would never do.
Right.
And forget about those people that did really contribute towards them. To be a Steve Jobs, you have to almost be friendless. And who wants to be Steve Jobs, who on his deathbed said, I regret everything. I did it all wrong, or something like that. Yeah. Because that guy burned all his friendships and his family, because he stood on that stage and he said, let me show you something next by me.
Right.
Not by the people who invented it, really. He didn't fucking invent it. Not by the designers or the engineers or the artists, his business colleagues, his friends. You know, he burned all those people for the glory of his own ego. And I just feel, so friendship, getting back to friendship and just a little lighter at the moment, friendship is an investment. Friendship is an investment in other people, and that investment hopefully is reciprocal with common goals and thoughts and love, man. And mutual respect and eventually love. I mean, friendship is love. That's what it is. You know, it's love. And we're scared of that. We're scared to use that word love for friendship because we feel like in our homophobic culture, especially between men, right? Oh, if you guys love that guy, you're gay, you know? No, I love that guy because I love that guy. You know what I mean? And I love that girl because I love that girl. I don't have to be in love or not in love or whatever.
Dude,
you know?
That's the thing too, man.
Just
It's
love
like
them. Like I love in my heart, man. It's good.
Like my best friends, like I have like a few best friends, and like just about every day when I'm done talking to them, I say I love you, man.
That's awesome.
And I'm not afraid to say that. Like
good for you.
There's guys, like a guy that I've known all my life. Like literally, we grew up together. We was running around as kids together. Every single time I talk to him on the phone, I say, I love you, man.
Good.
Every time.
Let me tell you something. As you grow older, right, and you all will, anybody who's in here who's younger than me, you'll grow older. You'll have no choice. This is the goal. It's not the problem. It's the fucking goal. You start to realize there ain't nothing else. This is it. We're here together in this moment, right? Somebody in the chat room, Mr. Korvic said, I don't get old, I just break down. That's very funny. Right?
I like that.
We're here together in this moment together. We're all tuned into the same thing, right? Us talking about friendship and reading your comments and everything, and we're relating to one another. And this is a special moment for me. I can't speak for you, but I'm going to assume that we're making meaning together and we're vibing off the same thing. And we're all becoming a little closer because of it. And that's really, really, really cool. We're all becoming potentially friends. So, yeah, right?
Hey, Jesse,
yeah,
that was one of the sweetest things what a great ending monologue. I don't know if we're stopping now, but that was really amazing.
Thanks.
Honestly.